Hello and good afternoon, everybody. You are, well, you're not live. You are going to be seeing this recorded. I am in the boatyard with the boat and playing yacht captain again. It is Thursday. This is meant to be the Thursday night live show. It will be recorded so that I can sit down and really talk about what's important to all of us as far as generating income with our crypto. That's what tonight's show is going to be about. Excuse me, I'm still getting over this cold I've had. But I thought I would give you a little tour around where I'm at and explain to you there's no Wi-Fi in this marina. So, and there's so many boats and so many people around that I'm just not getting a good signal. So I thought I would go ahead and give you a panoramic view of where I'm at. I'm going to be lifted out of the water right over there. Looks like tomorrow. And this is pretty much what I'm doing. I'm waiting to get picked up out of the water, and who knows how long that'll be. So I'm not trying to get anybody seasick or dizzy here. I just thought I'd give you a panoramic view. That is downtown San Diego. And I'm on Point Loma. This is Shelter Island. And these are all privately owned boats back here. They're all on mooring balls that you can see here. The hills up above there, in the background, is all called Point Loma. It's beautiful. And it's a nice place to live. And the ocean is just out to your left. Right, pretty much over those buildings is the opening to the bay, and then you would head straight out. Well, you would go up this way, and then you would go around. There's a military base. Coronado Island is right over that way. Anyway, enough of the sightseeing. I just thought I'd give you a good glimpse of why I am where I'm at, and why we're going to do the show inside, and I have to record it. Because if I don't, it'll be very broken up and very spotty. So we don't want that. So all of those people are on mooring balls, and they have to, they pay the city of San Diego, and then they come out and paddle out and hang out on the weekend. I don't think too many people live aboard those boats. I don't know. It's different everywhere. Again, a shot of downtown. So, let's get to business here. Hopefully I didn't make anybody seasick on that one. Okay, today I promised everybody that I would go ahead and I would do a story that I've told before, and people have asked me to tell it again, and I've never really gotten around to doing that. So I thought I would catch some people, if there's some new people to this Thursday night, usually a live stream. It was a story I've told a couple times in the past, and people always ask me it because they enjoy it, and it's the story of the velocity of money. And velocity of money is one of those things that's probably, the boat's rocking a bit. Sorry about that. You guys probably can't even see it. The velocity of money is one of the hardest things to explain to people, but when I'm done with this story, you will really get it. There's a couple, and they're driving across the U.S. or whatever country, and they have a check engine light, and they have a little problem with their car, and they're thinking, oh, well, here's a town right here. Let's just pull in and see what the mechanic has to say about our vehicle. Mechanic doesn't have a lot of time. He's kind of busy. He's doing his thing. And he has another customer. He said, look, I don't think it's anything all that serious. I won't be able to look at it for a couple hours, and then maybe I can get the part. Maybe I can't, so, whatever. So the couple says, hey, I'm going to go over to this motel right next door. I'm going to go ahead and book a room in case the car isn't finished. Goes there, really nice people in the small town, and he says, hey, just put $100 deposit down on your room, and then you're good to go. And then if you don't use the room, come back and I'll give you the $100. And there's no No problem. That way you'll have a room. So this couple had just received this $100 bill, amongst other things, for a gift, and that had markings on it to where they knew exactly what this bill looked like. It was a $100 US bill. So they hand this bill to this clerk, the owner of this motel, and he takes the $100 bill. His wife calls and says, "Hey, honey, on your way home from lunch, could you go ahead and grab a couple of things at the grocery store?" He takes the $100 bill. He goes to the grocery store. Small town, right? Small town, grocery store clerk. His wife or significant other calls him and says, "Hey, could you get some white paint for, some restoration?" "Yeah, okay, yeah, that'd be great, bring some white paint home." So he says, "Well, shoot, business is kind of slow. I think I can run over the hardware store right now." He takes the $100 bill. He goes over to the local hardware store, and the guy at the hardware store, "Oh yeah, it's $80 in paint. Okay, no problem." And the guy gives him the same $100 bill. Now the guy at the Ace Hardware store has this $100 bill. His wife calls and says, "Honey, you realize we have another couple of couples coming to town to visit. What do you think about maybe going over and seeing Tom at the motel?" You see where I'm going with this. At the motel, and secure some rooms so that they don't sell out this weekend, so we have a place for everybody to stay. "Great idea, hon. I'm going to run over there." And he gives the same $100 bill back to the clerk, the owner of the motel. Couple comes in because they got a call from the mechanic saying, "Hey, you know what? It was a piece of cake. It was just a couple of loose wires. It's no problem. I think you guys can get on your way. You guys can go ahead and get out of town." They go over to the motel, and the motel owner gives them the same exact $100 bill back. So now the $100 bill has left the town. Did the $100 bill ever exist? Yeah, of course it did. It was good for a $100 purchase at a grocery store, at a hardware store, and as a deposit, twice as a deposit. So it really generated at minimum of $200 worth of sales in one day, and yet the $100 bill doesn't even still exist in that town. That's the best way for me to explain what the velocity of that same dollar that you spend in your local town, wallet, community, neighborhood, group, XRP group, whatever it might be, wherever you can keep that money coming in. That's why life insurance is so incredible, because you can borrow your own money, pay your own money back against your life insurance plan, therefore keeping you within the community. This is why banks, almost all banks, are on almost every little street corner in every little town, because if you can keep all the paychecks of the little town running through your bank, you can see the velocity and the multiplier. There was only one $100 bill, and we know for sure it spent at least $200 in I don't know, less than 3 or 4 hours in this example. So you can imagine what tens of thousands of dollars in a small town would do. Millions in a year. That's the velocity of money. The important part of that story isn't just the velocity of it. The most important part to remember for you and I to always understand is that you're the network. Whenever you spend money, I don't know, in particular big companies that take the money outside of your community, now you know why it's important for that. That $100, the following day, the motel guy would have spent it on something else, and then he would have went to the bakery, or he would have went over here, and that $100 bill could have stayed in that town almost forever and just bounced around and generated hundreds of dollars of transactional commerce every day. This is what's important. So now we're going to talk about you being the town, you and your family, your generational wealth that you're creating. You need to start taking the old chip out, put the new chip in of the story I just told you. How do I keep my money under my own roof? Life insurance is a great way to do it. That's not really what this video is about, but there's another way to do this, and that's with your own crypto. Okay? So that's what tonight's show is going to be about. Sorry that you're not able to comment and whatnot, but anyway, I'm going to go on a ramble here. Maybe you'll get through it quicker and it won't be as long as a normal show. But this is really important for the future of not just your wealth. The key to this show is your income. Okay? Really want to talk about income now. How do I own hundreds of thousands of coins possibly, or even 10,000 coins, or even less than that? And how do I use those coins for monthly income so that I don't have to sell all my whole bag? That's where we're at tonight. So, pretty simple so far, correct? Okay. You want to keep your money in this network, right? So I'm going to say that something simple has come our way already. When you look at what's happened with the ETFs with Bitcoin, what's happened is Wall Street came and brought these products to you. They're legit, they're real. It was the #1 selling ETF in the history of mankind. I don't care if you don't like Bitcoin, that's not part of the story. What I'm saying is those tools, those products are now legitimized. You can use them. Your accountant's going to understand what you're talking about. Your bookkeeper, whoever, your lawyer, your business attorney, whatever it might be, going forward, they're going to understand an ETF. Now, what do we know about ETFs, in particular with XRP? We know that ETFs are coming. Well, one's already launched, or it's real close to launching, and we're going to have like 19, I want to say, and there's going to be probably more than that because BlackRock hasn't even thrown its hat in the ring on that yet. So these ETFs are going to empower you. Remember, I'm not saying for you to sell all your XRP and put them in an ETF. That's not what I'm talking about here. So stay with me on this. What I'm talking about is, let's say I'm going to make it for easy numbers. Let's say you have 10,000 XRP. Okay? Let's use a bigger number. 100,000. Basic, real simple math here. If you could use, say, 10,000 of those coins to generate a monthly income for you, to earn you a living, so that you never have to sell your big bag, ever, so that you can give it to your children or whatever it might be. All of what I'm talking about is passive income avenues, abilities to generate money monthly so that you go on vacation, so that you can go have fun with your grandkids, so you can do whatever it is you may want to do. That can be now done with ETFs. Now, currently, the only person that's really successfully pulling this off in the crypto world is Michael Saylor. He has successfully achieved something that is blowing Wall Street's mind. He started with MSTR, which is simply an ETF of MicroStrategies, which has done quite well. The biggest reason why it's done very well is because Michael Saylor has decided, I don't care what the price is, I'm always a buyer of Bitcoin. I'm going to leverage my company more and more and more and more because I want to buy more and more and more of this asset. I know a lot of people don't like the man. It doesn't really matter what you think of the man. What I'm talking about is a financial strategy. So I need you to take that chip out of the hatred of Bitcoin or the man, and I need you to start thinking of this, because Everything I'm about to tell you about what's happening with MicroStrategy is coming to you with XRP. I'm just using this analogy because it already exists over here. In fact, it's not a bad idea for you to invest in Bitcoin ETFs. I'm just saying. I'm going to get to that here in a minute. When you have somebody who's already estimated, if he completely leverages out his company, somewhere around $3 trillion over the next 5 years, he's going to borrow against his company. And he's going to, every Monday he buys, or every other Monday, he buys more Bitcoin. This is an absolute tailwind that you cannot avoid. You can't find this in any other form of industry. And it's a tailwind for two reasons. Number one, we know we have a limited supply of this. Same with XRP, same analogy. It's something that's scarce. They can't make more of these things. This means that the more he consumes, the more the US government consumes, the more other people buy of these things and lock them up in these financial institutions. Let's remember, I'm going to go ahead and start talking about XRP now. 19 institutions want these ETFs. And you're like, well, wait a minute. Wow. That's 19 of these institutions that are going to have to own this coin. Now, I want to get into cash settlement or in kind. I go over this a lot, but I want to make this video as very clear as possible. Currently, because Mr. Gensler, Burns, in other words, he had decided, we'll go ahead and let you do these ETFs, but they must settle in cash. The reason why they want them to settle in cash is because it's so much easier to corrupt. If you have a limited supply of something, yet you can print as much cash as humanly possible, and you can create what's essentially a duplication, which is what an ETF is, of the actual token, you can generate as many of those as you want. You understand why that's not a good thing. Yeah, even though they have to custody this and they have to own for every ETF that they create, they have to say, oh, we own one of these XRP coins. That's the law, that's the rule, that's everything. We know how that goes when it comes to Wall Street and big banking. The only people that have to follow the banking laws and rules of the world are you and I. They never have to do that. Sad as that statement is, that's the reality of the world in which we live today. Now, in kind, is what Hong Kong did, which was brilliant, If you walk in, I'm going to use Bitcoin right now, or whatever, any coin, and you say, okay, I got $50 and I want to buy this many, I want to buy 25 XRP coins. No problem, Mr. Smith, here you are, there you go, here's your ETFs. Those ETFs represent this many XRP coins. Perfect, done deal, minus your 1 point, the commission, whatever it may be. Great, sounds good. In kind means that no matter how long, whenever, generations from now, if you want those 25 coins back, you can have them in coins. That's in kind, all right? I know I'm being real simple here, but I really want you guys to understand where we're going. The reason why in kind is so important, is because that's where we're going to be. No more of these paper derivatives markets. No more of them just, fugazi moneying crypto. Those days have to come to an end. And that's one of the biggest things, despite whether or not you like the current administration or not, that's where they're headed. I've already heard them talk about we're going to switch it to in kind. Now, can another administration come along and change that? Of course, that could happen. But then they would have to have a really good reason for doing it. other than we would like to print as much money as humanly possible and create as many coins as we feel like making out of thin air. Hopefully, in these next few years, with the 100 people in the office that are currently there, we'll have educated enough people in the public to know why that's really a bad idea. The gold market comes to mind. How many pieces of paper or thousands of contracts are there for each ounce of gold? It's unknown to people, and it's sad. And what happened, if you look at the history of the ETFs of gold, they started off really slow, and for 8 straight years they went up. Along about the 9th year, they started writing a bunch of fake paper. Clearly is how they're controlling the price with this. Now, I explained all of that as simply as humanly possible. If you don't get that, just watch that part again. Okay, Allan, well, what does that mean to me? How do we generate passive income? Okay, well, let's just say the valuation of your coins come to, you have $100,000 worth of crypto. And you're like, wow, that's great. Well, what can you buy with 100 grand? Not much. I mean, I'm being totally honest here. In the world we live in today, you just can't. But in particular with the MSTY, which is MicroStrategies high yield ETF. That's what the Y at the end is, yield. Okay? These high yield products are not something you want to put your whole bag into. But they're paying anywhere between 4 to 8% monthly. That's right. 4 to 8%. That's been his record for, 9 months now. If you have $100K in there, that's $4,000 to $8,000 in income to you monthly. Now I know 100 grand worth of crypto is a lot of money, but even if you have 10,000 coins now and your XRP 10x's, you're at 200,000 in values because it's over $2 today. Is this product perfect for everybody to get rich tomorrow? No. Is it a product that everybody can live off tomorrow? No. Is it a product that many people that have hundreds of thousands of coins could put 10, 20% of their portfolio in something like this and earn a living so that they never have to sell the other 90, 95% of their coins? And let's remember, are you really selling the coin when you're buying the ETF that can be exchanged for in kind? Well, no, Allan, I'm really not, am I? Because at any time I can recall my XRP coins back in the whole form if I don't like the returns I'm getting in that fund. Are you following me on this? Simple, right? Are we there yet? No. Don't type below and don't email me and don't ask me, well, where do I get one of these tomorrow? No, that in particular with XRP, we're not there yet. And also in particular with Bitcoin, with MSTYs, they're not there yet because Bitcoin for security, even with BlackRock, with these ETFs and everybody else who are carrying these coins, are in custody with Coinbase. And as we know, Anchor, many other who have come along and want to security these coins can't be trusted with your 10 or 20% of your portfolio, in this man's opinion, today. Not yet. Now, if you've got $1 million worth of crypto, well, then I would say you might want to put, in particular, if you're looking for 5% interest, it wouldn't end the world for you if you lost 10% of your coins while you're making, 5 or 8, 10 grand a month. Obviously, if you could go 10 months or whatever it is, or whatever the math works out, you would have your money, you'd have your principal back. I'm saying this because this is the big picture of what Wall Street does every single day. This is how big money keeps money and keeps payments coming in. When you and I have the day where your XRP goes to $25 or $50 or $75, you're going to be in that tax bracket. You're going to be needing this exact product. You're going to want that product to be as safe as humanly possible. And I'm telling you the avenue in which we can do this. And then you and I are going to have to come after our representatives for them to, we have to demand in kind with these leveraged products. We can't go back of the road of the last 50 years of what Wall Street does nothing and gets paid all the money for. That's why cryptos are created. You got a crypto, that's real. It's open source, yes. Is it decentralized? Yes. Do I know that coin is mine? Yes. Can anyone take it from me? No. Just because we're using it for leverage as a monthly income should not allow them to just write paper and hand you a printed US dollar for your priceless coin in the future. That has to stop before any of the product that I'm talking about, in particular with XRP, is available to you. MicroStrategies is getting real close to that. Bitcoin is on now a strategic reserve. That's real close to that. So now I'm going to get a little more into detail about why and how that's important going forward. Again, I'm not speculating at all here today. What I'm telling you is exactly how the market systems roll. This is how they work. This is happening, all right, as we speak. The key, the biggest reason why I would not do this with Cardano, I would not do this with Solana, I would not do this with Ethereum, I would do this only, well, in particular, Ethereum, you could stake your coin and have a nice little return. I would only do this with Bitcoin and XRP. And now here's why. I told you the reason why Michael Saylor. He's going to spend the next 5 years spending at least $3 trillion. He's already come out and said that. That's what his plan is. We already know the US government wants 1 million of them. That's going to be at least $3 trillion. All of that is headed just to the Bitcoin market. That just those two players alone is $6 trillion in volume to that one platform. I'm going to say that's a pretty safe bet. Okay? Now what I want to talk about is when we're looking at XRP. And everybody has told us for eons now in the crypto world, hey, what's up with this whole escrow thing? I mean, they could just buy coins back and they could sell coins. They can hand them to their buddies. And that whole thing's a scam. Au contraire. It's perfect. And the reason why it's perfect is because they can do what they've already done. Well, they're hoping to do with a $50 million fine they want to pay to the US government is stockpile it. Once you can start stockpiling something with your US government, that lends people like BlackRock and other people to understand, okay, I can go with this. I can follow this. I can own it. I can write paper against it. I can legitimize it. It has a use case. It has a utility, which is better than Bitcoin's utility and transactional speed and all the rest of it. So we know it's a product going forward. But that escrow is huge for two reasons. Biggest reason is they can divvy it out to the people that need it for liquidity. They can also, it gives them leverage, okay, to write a high yield. Let's remember, what did Michael Saylor have to sell? Okay, he had to borrow against his company and its future sales. Look at the money that XRP is going to be able to write paper against in escrow. Do you have any idea the amount of trillions of dollars that could be worth if XRP simply only goes to 50, 25, and $500 in value? And it's there already. They can write paper against that asset. So they're in the process of currently today legitimizing that asset by making it a stockpile coin, by working with the government, doing whatever it takes. They're an American company. They have over 300 banking institutions already that want to work with their product. B of A comes to mind, SBI. I mean, all of these people and the future of the ISO and the rest of it, all of that is network value. You're going to be able to write a loan against the Ripple Corporation 10 times the value of MicroStrategy. Because they're sitting there liquid with 40 billion in escrow of a coin that's just gone up to $50 or whatever the number might be. They could borrow against it in fractions, which means they can multiply it by 4 and 5 times, which is exactly what Michael Saylor's doing with his. Only you have a better asset. I shouldn't say that. What Michael Saylor's doing is buying true, whether you believe this or not, in Bitcoin. He's buying money. He's not buying a stock or a share. He's buying asset valuations that is now known as banking collateral around the world. Okay? That's big. He's not buying paper stock with it. He's not even buying his stock back with it. He's buying Bitcoin with it. Now, if you think Bitcoin's going to zero, then you think he's a complete idiot. But looking around the world, I'm not seeing a bunch of idiots lining up buying Bitcoin. I'm seeing governments, nation states, and the rest, and the states in America buying these coins and stockpiling them, bad word in this case, using them as a strategic financial reserve, and it's already, by your banking institution, been declared a collateral. Those are all amazing things for Bitcoin. There's no reason why XRP won't be in all of those categories going forward. Because they have the escrow. Because the escrow is their door, their fee to get in any room in the world, any banking institution in the world. Just stop and think about how important Ethereum is, with how many different companies have already used Ethereum. It's a network value. I get it. That's great. How many coins do they have laying around? None. But institutions want to own a bunch of Ethereum because it generates staking. They get a monthly return. Well, just imagine what it might mean to anybody holding XRP, knowing that the company, I know people don't like this term, but the parent company who created and generated this net asset is involved in, 50 other projects, things that are going along around the world in blockchain. When you listen to Brad Garlinghouse, do you think he's just the only thing he cares about is XRP? No. He's going to infiltrate every single market on the planet, and its valuations are going to be related to RLUSD, okay? Or its evaluations are going to be run through XRP. That's his two choices. And yet he's going to get into all of it. He's going to get into media. He's going to get into all industry. He's going to get into real estate. He's going to get into every avenue out there. And remember, does Solana have any dry powder on the sideline? Do they have 40 billion coins just waiting around to be deployed into, real estate or media or anything I just mentioned? They don't. So what is the future value of a high yield product written against those projects going to be worth in the future? All you need to do is never sell your coins. Never sell your XRP coins. Now, don't get me wrong. I don't think you've made a mistake if you sold 25% of your bag when it went to 350 and it completely changed your lifestyle. I talked to a man, he bought his home farm and he paid off his 2 kids and his house and the farm and he owns it all outright. I mean, do you think he made a mistake? I don't. I think he was brilliant. He still has coins left. He can always buy more coins. It's not too late. In fact, it's gone down. It's a great time for him to add more coins. The future of you generating money with these coins is brighter than any financial product that's ever been before because of what I've told you today. There's no making more of them. There's no rehypothecation going to happen now. Because the people that we have, those 17 people that were sitting there with the president, okay, all of those people want honesty and money. They understand that we can achieve that with tokenization of all assets. You and I know that. And now, for the first time, Wall Street's going to have this immovable object that they can't reproduce or paper mache over. They're going to have this thing that they have to actually write actual paper against it. Well, they have to own a piece of it. They have to own the coin to write the paper of it. That scarcity value has never been there before. Shouldn't say that. Originally, it was there with gold. But they got away with... Gold is very difficult. It's hard to say how many bars are in somebody's vault. I know that sounds crazy to gold bugs, but how do you know how much gold is in that bank? Well, I just looked at it, Allan. Well, how long ago? Well, yesterday I was in. They can't move all the pallets out of there in one night. That's the problem. Digital assets are so much more obvious, open sourced, and clear to the financial institution. Hey, BlackRock, you don't have that many XRP under your roof. That's not accurate. Look what's happening right now with Coinbase, and maybe he's been writing paper Bitcoin. Oh boy, that's not going to go over well. We have a blockchain that says how many coins everybody has. That valuation, that scarcity, is going to generate yield for you monthly that is going to blow your mind. We've never had these kind of products before. And I'm going to backtrack a little bit. It's so important. Only Bitcoin, my opinion. I don't even know how I came up with that. It writes itself. Only in Bitcoin at this point in life, and only in XRP, would I recommend an ETF on these products at this point. Not even in XRP yet. And even with Bitcoin, you're taking the risk of them saying, oh, well, we're not going to give you the Bitcoin. We're going to go ahead and give you the cash value. That's your downside of it. And that's not good. I'd rather not do that. But if you're making 5 to 8% monthly on your money, and you never have to sell the rest of your coins, and you can make a living and you can have a great life with that kind of money, just do the multiples from there. It could be $40,000 a month. This depends on what you want to lock up in that ETF for that high yield. It's amazing. And by the way, that could compound, right? That can compound on you real easily. Just don't pull out as much each month. Okay. I'm kind of repeating myself on some of that, but I think it's really important because big money is coming. Big money understands everything I just told you, but big money doesn't have to worry about earning a monthly income like you and I do. You can't go messing around the planet the way you really want to do unless you can you got to cover that nut each month. And you got to make sure that you can sleep well at night. And you got to know that where that money's coming from. And when you have a secured product that's generating that kind of income for you, and Wall Street's on board, and regulations on board, and everybody's making money, and they're all making money on your money, and why would they stop that train from running? They wouldn't. So that's where we're headed. The other thing I want to say about this, it's kind of what I just mentioned right there, is everyone in crypto wins on this. This isn't, oh, my coin, not your coin, guy. We're not doing that. This is what coin, because you bought this coin or you didn't buy that coin. Doesn't matter now. What you're looking for now is you're looking for yield off your coins. You're now looking for, I'm smart enough to know that there's scarcity in all coins. Which ones get adopted? Which one pays me the highest dividend? And which one do I need to put my money in? Even if you don't like XRP and you get a ton of Cardano, but the XRP is paying you 6 to 8% a month, why would you leave your coins over here in Cardano when you can go over here and do this? So what I'm saying is everybody's your bag is going to change. And it's going to go, you're going to go around hunting and you're going to say, okay, that one's better than this one. This one's better than that one. And I know DeFi is really important to a lot of people right now. What I'm talking about is returns that are going to beat DeFi, or at least match it. At least match it. And it's Wall Street paper, which right now, who knows with Wall Street, what they're up to. Again, these products don't exist yet in the way and the manner in which I would ever recommend. I can't recommend. If I would ever tell you, they're not there yet. Don't email me and say, Allan, where do I get a hold of that? That was a great show. I love that. Where do I get those? We're not there yet. We are oh so close. But this show is really about telling you and I where your future is, how you're going to do this. Most of you don't understand how money works in banking institutions. It's taken me a lifetime to figure this out. The people I roll with, they wake up out of bed knowing this stuff. For you and I, it's a learning process. And it's been fun, right? So far, it's been great. Okay, everyone in the future of your lifetime will understand never to sell your crypto. There's not a single person that's sold Bitcoin that's ever looked back and said, wow, that was a great move. No. And that's going to happen with XRP. That's going to happen with Cardano and the rest of them. Because they're going to be invaluable in the future. And you're going to be able to earn a monthly return. Okay. History will prove what I just said. I'm telling you right now. Okay. I think that pretty much covers the passive income. Only one angle. Of course, we have DEX. We have DeFi. We have all the rest of that. This is a concept that I don't think many of you understand, and you don't understand how Wall Street money works. There's another one that's very large. When you start getting into, let's say your net value now becomes $1 million or a couple, $2-3 million worth of your Bitcoin bag or your crypto bag. When you get to that place, then we'll start talking about taking 5 or 10, 20% of your portfolio and writing covered calls on that. That's generating money for free. It's absolutely brilliant, and big institutions, mining companies are doing that right now. They have so many coins that they're like, okay, we're writing covered call on this and this and that. Those products are yet to come. These products are now being used and paying out now. It's crazy, but the returns right now aren't as good as they're going to be going forward. As you know, this bull market is different from all the others, and this bull market, in this man's opinion, hasn't even got off the ground. So, okay, guys, sorry that I had to record this. It's just kind of the way it is. I am a working man. I do have a job, and I am a yacht captain. So any of you that didn't believe that yesterday, well, now there's your proof. Go back to the beginning of the show. I'm going to be up on the hard for all next week, it looks like. So I'll be doing shows from there as well, and probably this weekend. Okay, I hope you guys understand what I went through here tonight. I tried to make it as simple and as plain as possible. Remember the story in the beginning. Keep it within your network. Keep your network working for you. That's what I meant by retaining your coins, using your coins to work for you, but make sure that you can get those coins back in their true, real form no matter when, because more leveraged products without you losing your principal or your collateral, the actual coin, is going to happen for your kids and then your grandkids down the line. We're going to put all of that, by the way, we're going to put all of that in a trust, and that's going to be your passive income coming to your trust, building your trust for generational wealth. We're going to do it with your life insurance and all of it, and it's all to come. And we just need number go up right now. We don't even really need that, actually. We can make money with the money we've already made. All right, guys, love you all very much, and I hope you have a great week, and I will see you. I'm gonna shoot a video that I'm gonna post it Saturday morning, probably right after this. Just know that I love you all, and then I'll see you live this Sunday with my son Brent. Okay, I'm out.